Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and I had found a problem with this toy bilt that I built for myself a couple years ago, and it kept chewing up belts on the deck, and I couldn't figure out why it kept chewing up all my belts. So I got to digging into it and looking at things, and what it was doing on this, I guess that'd be the left side sitting on the seat, the left side kept flipping on the pulley. Now one of the problems was when I ordered a belt, they sent me a 1/2 inch, and for some reason it didn't register in my mind that it was the wrong size belt. So that was one problem. So I went ahead and put a wider belt on it, and it done the same thing. So I kind of figured it wasn't the belt the problem. I mean, it wasn't a help, but it wasn't the problem. So I got to looking at it, and while this deck was spinning, the belt from the left to the right, this is a 50-inch deck, so it's a pretty long span between one pulley and the right pulley, the left and the right. So you got all that belt just sitting there flopping up and down, about 2 inches worth of freaking slap. And it was too violent for one thing. So basically what it was doing was flipping itself, so that when it would do a flop, it would turn the belt on the next pulley that it goes to. So I added an idler pulley in that location. I also added another idler pulley. I don't know why I can't say that. So I'm going to show you what it did. If I can get the camera down here. I've already done the job, but I wanted to show people what could be a problem. The first pulley I put in was right here. This pulley here. It's mounted to the deck. And the belt rides against it. This one here was a flopping like that. I mean, it was that violent. So I eliminated that flop. Well, it was still chewing the belt up. So I went back here and put another pulley right back in here. You see it right here? I don't know if I've got my fingers, I can't see in the camera, but let me see if I can get in there a little further. So I put that pulley right there in, and I just mounted it to the frame. And I only pushed it in about an inch, just to get some of that flop out of it. And by doing that, it also made the adjuster or the tensioner a little tighter. So now I'll tell you the rule, the number one rule on belts. People have a hard time figuring out how to run a belt without a diagram. And I just learned this myself. There is an easy way to do that. What you do is you start off with one pulley. If it's a flat pulley, you know the back side of the belt goes to the pulley. If it's a V pulley, then you know that the V pulley, or the V part goes in that pulley. So if you have every one of them facing the right direction against the proper pulley, you're always going to get your belt right. As long as you follow that one rule. Flat goes to flat, V goes to a V pulley. You cannot ever have a flat pulley going into a V pulley, and you can't have a V groove going on a flat pulley. It ain't gonna last. It'll rip them apart. So it's a good possibility that if you have that problem, maybe you've got the deck wired or belted wrong. Who knows? But I just wanted to show that. Oh, and I got another score today, or yesterday, or day before yesterday. A Frigidaire freezer. Frigidaire. It almost looks like a new one. Looks good on the inside. Level, or the legs ain't level. And when I first got it, the door jar kept staying on. And it, after a while, it would just beep, 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 and never stop. Well, what had happened was, they threw this thing in the trash, and my buddy was bringing the lawnmower over here, or bringing some parts for his lawnmower. I'm gonna show you that too. And he found this sitting along the road. Somebody had thrown it in the trash. Well, what they had done was took this switch here out. So that's for the door jar and the light. And they had taken the wires that's hooked to this and put a fuse in line, a 15 amp fuse, and just put the spades on the fuse. So obviously that didn't work very good. So I went and took one out of, no, not that refrigerator, the one I took apart to get the metal out of, and I put it in there and it fit perfect. And it's been running for 2 days now, and it's just as cold as can be in there. So I needed one. The other one's not a frost free. This one is. And I wanted to show you what I did for my buddy Dale. Somebody had this tractor, and somebody had stolen all the wire out of it for copper to take to scrap. That's pretty desperate if you're going to work that hard to get wiring out of a lawn tractor. That's trifling. That's not a lazy person. That's just somebody that ain't no damn good. Because they're not lazy, because they spend more time getting the wire out of these lawnmowers, and this wiring harness actually runs through the frame. The hardest frame you can put a wire through. But it's a John Deere STX 38 inch cut. And when I first got it, I wish I'd have got a before picture. When I got it, it had great old big rust spots where all the paint had just lifted off of it like sheets of paper. And I mean, they were big old sheets like this right here of paint that was off of it. It wasn't too rusty, it just needed to be wire wheeled. And we went and got this paint right here, or he did, and this was like $7 to $9, something like that. But I didn't paint this whole tractor. I only painted to right here. You can see where it's shiny right here. But if he buffed both of these, they would match. That is the closest paint I've ever seen to match a John Deere color. A lot of them claim to be John Deere green, but there's always a shade different. This one is perfect. And this tractor is 20 years old. So, some of the front part of that paint was good. I didn't paint the hood. I didn't paint this. I didn't paint anything from here forward, except to right here on this side. And cleaned it all up. Cleaned the plastic up. The only thing that gives it a bad name is that seat. I had to rewire all this. They had took all the wire out. I had added all new wiring. Run it through that channel back down in there. And you got to fish it through here and then go over there behind the starter and reach down there with a pair of pliers to pull it up out of there. And that hole's about that big. So we put a relay in right here. I also added this plate and a ball for him. And I added a relay for the PTO clutch, because if I ain't mistaken, I think they draw from anywhere from 4 to 6 amps. So we got the starter working. Now we're just waiting on a carburetor to put on it. It does run. I've already had it running with starting fluid, of course. Ugh. But it cleaned up pretty nice, guys. That tractor was actually a pleasure to work on. And I don't get many that I can say that for. So, he's got the deck. But, I just wanted to kind of show you guys that little fix that I did. Now, this is a new belt. It's brand new. I just got it a couple days ago and put it on there. And that's when I added that pulley. And, we're getting ready to mow. As soon as it cools down, it's still too damn hot for me to be out there in the sun mowing. So this evening we get to test it out and see if it'll last. I'm gonna start it up here and we're gonna look at that belt as soon as I get it out of gear. We're gonna start up and start that deck and see if we have a lot of vibrations anymore. So I've got the deck down as far as it'll go. Now let's start it. Now the reason I was pointing to this side over here was this here had some vibrations to it, but that's only like a 12-inch span from this pulley to that one. Try 24 inches. That little wobble that much right there was like that when there wasn't no pulley there. So it's possible just put you an out little pulley in there. All I did was drill the hole, made a bushing, found a bolt, put it down through there, clamped it down, tightened it up, and we'll see how it mows this time. So if it don't, I guess there'll be a part 2, the update. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You guys have a good one. Later.